want you to go as quietly as possible. Do not make a sound until I tell you to run.
Let's get the 2 minutes hate out of the way at the start. Zak Smith is a horrible twat. And I don't like him. And I am not defending him. He is a manipulative, extremely argumentative bastard. And he may well be a sexual and emotional abuser. Are we clear that I am not actually defending Zak Smith? Good. Let's move on. In the arguments that I've been having that seem to have upset people, they seem to be thinking that it's the same thing to argue for someone's innocence or to defend them when you defend the principle of innocence until proven guilty, the burden of proof, that basic foundational logic that underlies our legal system, our scientific systems, and should be a guide in everyday life. I mean, you don't go around believing anything and everything someone tells you on the strength of them telling you, right? So my concern here is not even directly about Zak, it's just that he provides an opportunity to talk about principles and issues that lie behind the immediacy and the knee-jerk reactions and everything else that's going on. That doesn't make me a broken stare or whatever else. And it might be unpopular to talk about these things, but we have to talk about these things. I believe everyone deserves their day in court when it comes to accusations, and I don't necessarily mean their day in court as in before a judge and a jury or whatever. You know, this should be guiding us in our everyday lives. There has to be evidence before you can believe something, anything, and testimonials aren't evidence. You get into an argument, an theist argument, and you know this kind of stuff will come up. Oh, but Saul of Tarsus attested to these. It doesn't matter. It makes no odds. That's a claim, and a claim cannot support itself, however heart-wrenching or appealing it might be. The axe's rake still applies. Just because you want something to be true doesn't mean that it is. Right? I believe everyone deserves a chance to state their case, make their case, to mitigate people's anger against them. I believe everyone deserves a public defender. Even paedophiles, even murderers, even genocidal maniacs and dictators deserve their day in court to state their case, to make their case, to explain mitigating circumstances and all the rest. And the mob justice that we see inflicted at the moment, however guilty someone might seem, is deeply concerning to me. And that is what concerns me about Zak Smith. I mean, here we have a man being unpersoned, deleted, digitally Fahrenheit 451, right, on the basis of a Facebook post. However heart-wrenching or credible it might seem to you, it might seem to anyone, imagine that you were an innocent person accused in such a manner. And we've seen people's careers, even lives, snuffed out because of accusations over social media in the past. So we should be very wary, very careful about burning someone on a pyre on the basis of a social media post without any kind of right of reply or any due process, whatever. I mean, the punishments you can face for an accusation on social media could even be thought to be worse than the punishments you could face from a court at this point. I mean, your life can be essentially over depending on the accusations that are made towards you. So we should all be very wary, very careful. And this doesn't mean we have to like the person, it doesn't mean we have to work with them, it doesn't mean we have to ignore the accusations and not take care around them or whatever. It's just a note of caution that we have these structures that we have developed off the back of that basic logical principle down the years, and we have them for a reason, and they're currently being bypassed by mob justice. Is that clear enough? I hope it is. Right, well, hopefully now I can get onto the video I actually wanted to make today. But before I do, there's a reason for all these bird clips. So, because I've been arguing for the right to be considered innocent until proven guilty, and entering a note of caution as to what's being done to Zak Smith in terms of his work and so on, it being digitally burned, shall we say, some people have taken it upon themselves to mass flag my current Twitter account, which is fun, of course. It's very nice of them. I think that qualifies as targeted harassment. Of course, they can't point to anything I've actually done this time, so what they are doing is reporting it for a ban evasion. If you haven't been keeping up on Twitter bullshit, my original account, Grimachu, ended up banned after I clapped back to Will Wheaton when he accused Twitter of being like a nice club that's been taken over by Nazis, which struck me as quite abusive. I responded to him, and apparently I was mass flagged by Will Wheaton's fans on that basis, which got my account locked out, removed, whatever you want to call it. Now, I tried to rectify this with Twitter, because it seemed obvious to me that just repeating someone's analogy back to them didn't break any of their terms of service or anything, or if it did, then Will Wheaton had as well. I couldn't talk to a human being. All I ever got was automated messages. The only time I got to talk to a human being was when I contacted their legal department directly, and they don't handle that stuff, and they couldn't direct me to a human being who does. So this is kind of like one of those Kafka-esque traps that you get in, where a news organisation calls you a hate group, then the SPLC calls you a hate group off the back of the media. You complain to the media, and they point out that the SPLC has labelled you a hate group, which would almost be a good thing right now, because then I could sue them for millions of pounds like my Cheat Nowaz did. But yeah, once you've got one spurious ban on one account, then people could come after you equally spuriously on any other account. So yeah, if I disappear from Twitter, I'll pop up again on some other account. Maybe it'll give me a chance to appeal the original ban. Who knows? But it is a cowardly move. If you disagree with me that everyone should have their day in court and that we should consider people innocent until proven guilty, if you disagree with basic and fundamental logic that underpins our society, our technology, and the fairness of our legal system, then by all means, come on the channel and hash it out with me in a live stream. I would love to hear your arguments. But trying to silence people rather than arguing their points, that's a dick move. Sang. Do you like t-shirts?
Yeah, boy!
Do you like games?
Certainly.
Are you perhaps a little bit kinky?
Yes, quite.
Then buy one of our B&D t-shirts at Teespring. Teespring.com/stores/postmortem-studios. You want to be cool, don't you?
Does the word duh mean anything to you?
Your habits, your facts, your fears, your bus, your address, your shoe size, your years, your digits, your plans,